Komodo dragons are the world's largest living lizards, and they have some fascinating skills and characteristics that might pique your interest. However, for your own protection, it's best to learn about them from videos rather than seeing them in person. You're in for a treat if you've never seen a Komodo attack its prey before. Trust me, it is not pretty, so I'm warning you. But if you like gore, then you're at the right place, as we look at the Komodo Dragon eating everything in sight. Number 15. Komodo, but it wasn't when they began eating. Komodo dragons are more active in the morning because Komodo dragons are cold-blooded animals. Usually during the rainy season, deer are more active and present at beaches. This deer was trying to enjoy a moment at the beach when a couple sick from the bacterial infection. The Komodo decides it's time to kill and eat the deer. The deer tries running away, but the Komodo remains latched onto it. A small Komodo approaches a young deer, and the deer tries stomping on the Komodo when another Komodo shows up and they corner the deer. A larger animal standing there doesn't even pay attention to the two Komodos. Number 14. Komodo versus monkey. A Komodo catches a monkey but doesn't want to share it with his friend, so he runs off in a jiffy to eat it alone. I'm not sure the other Komodo is going to agree with this. I didn't know dragons were so selfish. Number 13. Komodo cannibalism. Komodos will eat whatever is in their path, even if it's one of their own, meaning another lizard. Treatment when a couple of Komodos decides it's time for lunch. A big Komodo bullies a small Komodo, but the small guy is no match for the big guy, and this fight is kind of predictable and will probably end with the big Komodo eating the small Komodo. Adult Komodo dragons are subject to cannibalism, which accounts for 10% of their diet by eating their species young. As a result, juveniles spend the first years of life in trees. Their claws make great climbers, but only while they're young. As adults, they're too hefty to climb trees. Then again, when they're big, they don't need to climb trees because all the other animals are. Komodo dragons, as opportunistic feeders, can live on a wide variety of prey across their range, including Number 12. Komodo versus snake. A big male Komodo dragon is seen consuming a dead snake, which he finishes in a matter of seconds. This snake is a type of rattlesnake, which is considered to be particularly lethal, as seen by its color and shape. There are 12 different varieties of snakes in Komodo National Park, 3 of which are venomous: spitting cobras, rattlesnakes, and green viper snakes. It looks like snakes don't have it easy with Komodos either. This Komodo is tearing the snake apart without a problem. Mind you, it's not a big snake, but it's still a snake. This cobra is trying to get out of a jam with the Komodo. I don't think the Komodo is immune to the cobra's venom, but even if it isn't, the cobra is incapable of landing one strike on the Komodo. This Komodo teaches the Number 11. Komodo versus mouse. A mouse is just a small appetizer for the mighty Komodo, but being the opportunistic eater that it is, this Komodo doesn't let such an opportunity pass it by and gulps the mouse in no time. Because Komodo dragons are cannibals, even their moms prey on their own young. Baby Komodo dragons normally spend 2 to 3 years in trees to avoid adult dragons. The baby Komodo will hunt tiny animals such as geckos, lizards, birds, and mice while perched in the tree. This happens without any human interference, and it's natural selection at work to keep the food chain balanced. This young Komodo feeds on a mouse it has found as it was taking a stroll on this dirt road. It swallows the mouse and Number 10. Komodo dragon versus stingray. Did you know Komodo dragons eat stingrays? Well, if you didn't, they do. And you can see how in this thumbnail as this Komodo swallows the stingray whole. I have seen the Komodo dragon hunt and kill many types of animals, but this is the first time I see a Komodo swallowing a stingray. I guess it's true that Komodos will eat anything in their path. Komodo dragons are carnivorous reptiles that eat all types of meat, whether fresh or dead. Because its mouth cavity is wide, like that of a crocodile, the Komodo dragon consumes its food without chewing it. That's exactly what it does when it plucks the stingray out of the water. In the Komodo village area, a Komodo dragon consumes a stingray. A fisherman dropped a stingray on the beach, and the Komodo didn't waste any time snatching it and carrying it into the forest where it was swallowed whole. This Komodo went for a stroll on the beach and came across a dead beach stingray. It decided to get a taste of the creature, but when it didn't taste so good, the Komodo threw the stingray away. This Komodo finds a beach stingray and decides to have a quick snack. It almost looks like it's a common occurrence. Number 9. Komodo versus elk. It takes this Komodo dragon seconds to paralyze this big wild elk. The elk manages to run away from the Komodo's grasp and runs into the water. But it's just a matter of time before the elk crumbles, and the Komodo, along with a few friends, grab the animal and eat it. Number 8. Komodo versus fish. Just like we saw the Komodos earlier swallow stingrays, this Komodo finds a fish on the beach and carries it away from the beach into the forest and goes ahead and swallows it whole. If you thought eating a stingray was wild, check this Komodo out when he pulls another rabbit, a shark, out of his hat and has it for lunch. The Komodo gulps the shark whole in 5 seconds. Another shark is on the menu for this Komodo. It doesn't take long. Number 7. Komodo versus human. Is this Komodo looking for this man? And is the man playing with fire, standing so close to such a deadly animal? I'm not sure why people take such big risks, but I guess they have a knack for it. Humans have been known to be attacked, killed, and eaten by Komodo dragons. They ambush unsuspecting prey, tearing them apart with their blade-like fangs as they speed down at close to 15 miles per hour. Komodo dragons aren't particularly fond of humans. Since the 1970s, dragons have killed roughly 10 humans. In comparison, crocodiles, the most prolific of all man-eaters, kill around 1,000 people every year. Most of these people, perhaps over 700, are killed by Nile crocodiles in Africa. In other words, since 1970, Nile crocodiles have shed more human blood each week than Komodo dragons. In this crazy Japanese game show, a woman must run away from a Komodo dragon, as you can see in the video. The woman has a rope attached to her body with the bait at the end of the rope to lure the dragon, so it chases the woman. When you thought you had seen it all, you realize you haven't. Number 6. Komodos. But the horse is not running. It just stands there, probably in shock and unable to move because it's already been. Number 5. Epic fight between Komodos. You can see these two huge male Komodos fight it out, spitting goo out of their mouths as they hug each other standing up. The sheer scaly bulk of these two 90-kilogram beasts is enough to make you never want to meet one in a dark alley. These fights are over-the-top nuts. During mating season, Komodo dragons compete to impress the females to maintain their bloodline. So bouts against other Komodos are common, even if it means dying on the battlefield. Watch these two Komodos charge into one another like two experienced sumo wrestlers. These guys are not kidding around. Another good thing for the Komodo is its immunity to another Komodo's venom, so at least that's out of the way. I'm sure if Komodos didn't have any venom, many of the animals they hunt would be able to get away. But once they bite them, the animal's paralyzed because of the venom. And that's when the Komodos catch up to them and swallow them. Number 4. Komodo. Frequently caught by Komodo dragons, since the Komodo dragons and indigenous goats roam freely without any fencing constraints. This videographer instantly followed a Komodo dragon to the top of a mountain after it captured a goat near a resident's house. Komodo lose goats to the Komodo dragons. Komodo dragons can live up to 50 or 60 years old. The Komodo in this video is an estimated 40 years old. It's always more difficult to hunt when you're an older Komodo. A Komodo kills and eats a goat in the lush green forest. The giant lizard is grinding through the goat's body and enjoying every second of his meal. This huge Komodo walks toward a goat, and the goat, unafraid, charges the Komodo. But I think this goat has no idea what the Komodo is capable of. The goat keeps. Number 3. Komodo versus buffalo. A mother buffalo defends her calf from a Komodo dragon attack. The mother buffalo went in search of food and left her child in a pool of water to wait for her. But the Komodo dragon took advantage of the opportunity to hunt down the buffalo calf. Fortunately, I guess it can only hope for a quick death, although it looks more like a slow one. Komodo dragons dominate the habitats in which they reside. Number 2. Komodo versus turtle. This Komodo dragon finds a turtle on the beach, and it's having all the trouble in the world eating it. It's trying to find a way to get to the occasion so they can eat in peace. Two Komodos are tearing apart a turtle, and it doesn't take long before it looks like a scene straight out of a crime thriller. Another turtle bites the dust at the hands of a bunch of Komodos, sling the turtle carcass, and they immediately ate it voraciously. This is the weirdest Komodo dragon I've ever seen. Check out its head. It looks like it has a protective shell on it. Oh no, wait, it's the shell of a turtle, and the Komodo is probably inside the shell, tearing the poor turtle to shreds. How in God's name did the Komodo manage to get inside the turtle shell and lift it up that way? The Komodo is just digging inside the turtle shell for its tender meat, so I'm thinking there isn't much of the turtle left in there. Once a Komodo has turned a turtle over, number 1, Komodo versus wild boar. I must say, this is the weirdest video of a Komodo I have ever seen. These Komodos have the opportunity of snatching one of these wild boars for lunch. Instead, they decide to dine with the wild boars, eating whatever the boars are eating, which looks like nothing more than grains. Never do the Komodos attack him, and it's only a matter of time before the dragon swallows him whole. We would like to thank the Komodo Indonesia channel for some of these clips, allowing us to Honestly, I had a hard time watching this countdown, so I didn't come up with a favorite. I guess the Komodos fighting each other was the most light-hearted moment in this countdown. Which one was your favorite? Why don't you let us know in the comments below. Well, that's our look at the Komodo Dragon eating everything in sight. If you enjoyed this video, please give us a like and let us know in the comments what you think. Check out our other videos and subscribe to be part of the fun. Click on the notification icon so you can see our new videos as soon as they're